Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be going in a little bit of depth on the lat pull down and the specific lat pull down that I have. I have the Bells of Steel lat pull down, and it also doubles as a cable row, but we're going to be focusing on the actual pull down part. In today's video, I'm going to be telling you guys what grips to use and what the best grip is to use for me and you, depending on your fitness goals and how you want to get a big back and biceps a little bit, because it does work your biceps a little bit, but we're mainly trying to get our back and our traps worked when we're doing the lat, well, more specifically the lats. When we're doing the lat pull down, it's actually called the lat pull down. So without further ado, let's get right into it. But I want to establish some things right at the start. So when we're doing the lat pull down, you always want to go faster on the concentric and always slower on the eccentric. And the lat pull down is a machine where you can do that very easily. You always want to have that control negative. And I actually like to, at the end, lean all the way forward to get that big stretch on my lats right here, because the stretch part is where the most muscle growth is going to happen. And then we pull it down to our chest. You can do a little pause at the bottom if you want, and then you control that negative and back. And that's really going to engage your lats, your mid back, and that is the bet. That is, without question, no matter what grip you're using or anything, you always want to focus on that rhythm and those principles whenever you're doing the lat pull down. Okay, and I also want to talk a little bit about the grips that I have and the ones that I'm using, because as you can see right here, I have a large assortment of different grips I can use in the lat pull down. So the grip that I was just using right here, that is more of a wide grip, and that's going to take out our biceps quite heavily. It's really going to focus on our back. The only downside with a wide grip, I would say, is you won't get as big of a stretch at the top, because the wider I go, as you can see, the less range of motion I'm going to have, which means the less overall stretch on the lats. So if you're trying to stretch out the lats optimally, it's probably better to go for a bit of a closer grip like this one right here, this mag grip. You grip it like this and you go closer, and you can stretch the lats at the top really well. The downside though is that this, for me, when I use a closer grip, I find my biceps get engaged a lot more, especially if we're going to use a supinated grip. So if we're using a pronated grip like this, then our biceps will be taken out of it quite a bit, but then my forearms are going to start to get activated more. So when we're trying to hit our back specifically, I would definitely recommend a pronated or neutral grip. Definitely not a supinated, as that's going to engage the bicep more. But if we use a closer grip, even if we go pronated, the bicep will get engaged a little bit more, but that will allow a bigger stretch on the lats. So to get the best of both worlds, I kind of like to go for like a middle grip here, so we can still, as you can see, get a really good stretch on the lats, but it's just enough where I don't feel like my biceps are going to be taking over. It's like just outside shoulder width for me, and I think that's the best grip for most people on the lat pull down. I think the wide grip is really great too. And I also like this neutral grip. That's just the best for me. I find that it just honestly feels the best. But of course, you can pick the grip that you want as well. And also, another thing that I see a lot of people doing when they do the lat pull down is they start leaning back way too much. So like this right here. So when I'm doing it, I don't want to, I think it's okay to lean back a little bit like this, just to, give you a little bit of momentum to help you crank out those reps. But you really don't want to be leaning back like this, like that. No, like we're ego lifting at this point, because I think you can get a little bit of a better contraction if you lean back a little bit, and it just feels quite a bit better. But I also think that, okay, you lean back a little bit, you should also then come forward to stretch out the lats again, and then you lean back again, and so on. I find that for me anyway, is the best way to get a great contraction and a great stretch. If anything, we really want to get a great stretch, but you will be limiting yourself if you just pull straight down like this and you don't lean back at all. So I would say don't lean back further than around 20-25 degrees. Now obviously we're not bringing our protractors to the gym measuring this, but just something to keep in mind, to not lean back excessively, but a little bit of lean is okay and is good for your back. Okay, and the last thing I want to touch on is where should we touch the bar on our chest? Should we touch it at the top or the bottom or somewhere in the middle? Guess what? It literally doesn't matter. It doesn't freaking matter. Touch it wherever you want. Just make sure you're hitting your chest to get a full range of motion. If you can't, if you have like some shoulder mobility or issues or something like that, I would say try and sort those out, because you will be missing out on a little bit of gains if you can't get that full range of motion. But, you know, do the best that you can. And yeah, it literally doesn't matter. Do what feels good for you. I see a lot of people talking about that, but it doesn't make that much of a difference. One other thing I forgot to touch on that I'm just remembering now in post is that the lat pull downs are one of those exercises where once you hit failure, you can really bang out the partial reps in the lengthened aspect of the movement. So those long length partials, those are going to be really hypertrophic. So you definitely don't want to skip out on those. I'd recommend adding these in if you're an advanced lifter. If you're a beginner, or an intermediate, you probably don't need them, but if you're advanced, I would definitely recommend. And overall, this lat pull down is pretty much the cream of the crop, like one of the best lat pull downs for like home gyms that I think you can get, in my opinion. This lat pull down actually has, I'm pretty sure it's literally the heaviest weight stack you can get on a lat pull down is 310 pounds. They must have when they were designing this thing, they must have been like 300. It's a nice standard number, but then they're like, no, we need to be the best. We're gonna have 310. This is obviously the Bells of Steel lat pull down, and this thing is an absolute beauty. Great and it has this really nice pads here to lock you in place. It is a absolutely amazing piece of equipment. Alright guys, so that is the video. So I hope this video helped you out with the lat pull down and how to use it for the biggest bang for your buck, for what your goals are and what you are looking to train for. Personally, like I said before, my favorite grip for the lat pull down is this middle grip just outside shoulder width to get me a good stretch, but also not engage my biceps too much so I can really feel that mind-muscle connection with my back. But of course, it doesn't matter really. You can use the grip that you want. This is just the one that works the best for me. Obviously, it might be different for you, but if you guys have enjoyed this video, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe if you're new here, and I will see you in the next one. Peace. Ow!